WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. An afternoon shooting in East Columbus lands 2 people in custody.
Officers caught up with the 2 suspects at Warpath and McCrary Roads. Police Chief Fred Shelton says the incident originally started on Waterworks Road after an argument between 2 people. No one was injured in the gunfire exchange. Law enforcement were looking for a white Crown Victoria with bullet holes. CPD has not released whether the people in custody will face any charges. Shelton says a weapon has been recovered and the 2 people in the argument apparently knew each other.
A Columbus man is charged with shooting into a dwelling after a domestic dispute. Jimmy Craddock Jr. was allegedly involved in a confrontation with another person on 15th Avenue South while arguing in the street. Craddock is accused of firing a gun. A bullet struck a nearby home. No one was injured in that incident.
An inmate in the Clay County Jail is charged with killing another inmate. 20-year-old Cameron Henderson was denied bond this morning in Clay County Justice Court. He's charged with first-degree murder. Investigators say Henderson and 54-year-old Dale O'Neill were in jail on misdemeanor charges. O'Neill was found dead in his cell this past Friday. The 2 men were being housed in the same area of the jail.
The case is being led by the Mississippi Bureau of Investigations, assisted by the Coroner's Office and the Clay County Sheriff's Office. Crime Lab confirmed this morning that the ruled the death as a homicide with the cause of being strangulation.
Investigators have not released a motive. The case is expected to be presented to the next grand jury.
The Catholic Diocese of Jackson is following through on its pledge to identify clergy accused of sexual abuse, and that list touches several North Mississippi cities. The most prominent accusation is in our area is Father Peter Richardson, who served at St. Francis in Aberdeen. Richardson is suspected of abusing children while at the church between 1987 and 1990. He was reported to the diocese in 2014, long after he had left Aberdeen and moved to Connecticut. Richardson was removed from the ministry in 2010. He died in 2014. The list also includes clergy who had served in Starkville, Tupelo, and Columbus. The Jackson Diocese says all of the men are out of the ministry. It hopes by disclosing the names, it will encourage victims of abuse to come forward. For a complete list, you can get our website, WCBI.com. Time to turn things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. He joins us with a first look at our forecast. Keith?
Joey, a gorgeous afternoon setting up, as you well know if you've been outdoors. There's the sun. Temperatures this evening, though, as we venture on into the evening, will be cooling on down. Right around 60 now. By 7 o'clock or shortly thereafter into the mid-50s, and then later on low 40s, eventually mid to low 30s for lows tonight. These are the current numbers, though. 59 in Starkville and Tupelo, 61 in Columbus. Mainly clear for us, but notice the clouds and the showers back across the high plains. That activity comes in here tomorrow evening, tomorrow night. But for a good chunk of Wednesday, clouds just on the increase. We're back into the 60s. Your full forecast in just a few minutes.
Mississippi's heartbeat bill is heading to the governor's desk. Senate Bill 2116 would prohibit abortion in cases where a fetal heartbeat is detected. That's about 6 weeks into pregnancy. Last year, a 15-week ban was signed into law, but it was immediately challenged in court. Lieutenant Governor Tate Reeves said that a beating heart clearly means life has begun and should be protected. The bill does provide an exemption for cases of medical emergencies.
It's no secret that retail recruitment has been a big issue in Columbus. 3 months ago, the city hired the firm Retail Coach to help attract new businesses to the area. At tonight's city council meeting, the Tupelo-based firm gives the city leaders an update on demographics and other data that can be used to bring in new businesses. WCBI's Quentin Smith is at the meeting, and we'll have more coming up on WCBI News at 9 and 10.
A ribbon-cutting ceremony today hosted by Public Service Commissioner Brandon Presley and Atmos Energy is celebrating the start of what they call a star.
And it could fuel potential growth in Monroe County. Our Stephanie Poole joins us now in the studio with more details.
A $1 million project is bringing new power to rural Mississippi, and it could help families with their cost of living.
Residents in Monroe County will soon have the option to use natural gas. Atmos Energy is expanding service into the Cason community. The move is something Northern District Public Service Commissioner Brandon Presley has been pushing for almost since he took office.
One of my priorities as commissioner has been to make sure folks living in rural areas have the same level of service, same access to things like natural gas as somebody living in downtown Jackson. And so this project, which is going to be around $1 million, and it will help reduce the cost of living.
During the first phase of the service project, over 170 homes can expect to have access to natural gas. The Country Squire restaurant and a church are the two first businesses to tap into the new resource. Mississippi has over 10,000 miles of natural gas pipelines. Commissioner Presley would like to see more of these reaching smaller communities like Cason.
This, incidentally, is the only program of its kind in the United States of America. So we're very proud of this and proud to see results, to deliver results for the folks living in rural Monroe County. I want to see this happen in the other 81 counties.
Atmos Energy Operations Manager Michelle Whittle says residents have been waiting on this for a long time.
This enables us to have additional customers because the customers want natural gas because it will indeed lower their utility bills. It's just going to fuel the fire to get more customers for Atmos Energy.
Presley says construction has now begun and they are aiming to have the project finished by fall of 2020.
Well, prom season is here and some local schools are doing what they can to keep students safe. The Jobs for Mississippi graduates invited emergency room nurse Linda Dutel to speak to students at Starkville High School today. The presentation gives prom goers a taste of reality about the dangers of underage drinking and illegal drug use. Dutel also gave real-life examples of partying gone wrong and an in-depth look at what happens inside the emergency room.
I show the students what happens when they make poor choices and end up in the emergency room. So I'm actually going to demonstrate those life-saving skills, what we have to do to save their life. But also throughout the assembly, I really emphasize getting help for their friends, never ever leaving your friends alone. And I share some additional life-saving skills emphasizing that.
Dutel is touring the country and hopes by showing what can happen that she will cause students to think twice before making a poor decision.
Well, they say you only get one chance to make a good first impression.
And a group at MSU is helping students do just that. We find out how when we come back. Welcome back. When it comes to job interviews, the pros say dress for the job you want, but for college students, coming up with the money to achieve that look can be difficult.
Our Riley Livingston takes a look at a new program at Mississippi State and what it can mean for students. She joins us live in the studio with more. Riley?
Job interviews are stressful business, especially if you're just getting into the workforce. But Bully's Closet at MSU is hoping to take care of some of that worry.
As students near the end of their college careers, they begin to look towards their professional careers. But sometimes dressing the part can be a challenge. A program at Mississippi State could help them meet that challenge.
The Student Association saw a need for professional clothing for our students, whether they want to interview for a student organization or for internships, all of their professional endeavors, they are in need of professional clothing. So we decided to start a closet where students can come and get clothes for those endeavors.
It's called Bully's Closet, and it could be a big help for those struggling with the cost of college.
Professional clothes are expensive, and so all students may not be able to afford those, and this gives them an opportunity to dress appropriately for interviews or other events.
The President's Commission on the Status of Women and MSU Career Center set out to help bring in donations.
We've had a great response today. It's two purposes. One is to bring awareness to Bully's Closet for our students so they know that these clothes are available, and the other is to make people who want to donate aware that they can do it today, but they can also do it anytime at the Student Union on the 3rd floor. And we have also collected a good bit of clothes today. We've had a lot of people come by and drop off men's and women's clothes.
The goal is to get Bully's Closet open as soon as possible.
Ultimate vision is to have a closet, a room, a space of its own where students can come. There will be someone working there for students to check out that clothing. So the vision is for it to look like a little store for students right here on campus.
The Student Association is accepting new or gently used clothes to stock their shelves. They're looking for all sizes, so students will have options.
We will have a brief little tour of the International Space Station this evening. Look to the southwest at 8:40. It will get out of here by 8:42. You got 2 minutes this evening. The sky will be clear, though. The full forecast is next.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Can you believe it? Tomorrow, the first day of spring around here. By this time tomorrow evening, spring will officially be here. As we go into spring, let's just recap where we've been over the last 3 months of winter. We've actually gained the sun. It's gone about 23 degrees higher in the sky, so a little bit more sunlight, a little bit more powerful sunshine. Over 2 hours of additional daylight, we've already had that. So as we look ahead at the next 3, more daylight, the sun gets higher in the sky, and that will give us warmer temperatures. Now, our average for tomorrow in the Columbus area is 70. By April 20th, it's 78. By May 20th, 85. And by June 20th, 91. And July, August 20th, in the low 90s, 93 degrees. So that's where we're headed. Get ready for it. Savor the cool, dry air while we have it. Look at this, though. Speaking of the temperatures, currently 79 in Seattle, Washington. Right now, the warmest March day on record, the warmest winter day up there in Seattle on record. So a little bit of a heat wave up there for us. Unusually cool for this time of year, upper 50s, low 60s, but you know where we're headed later on with that humidity, so let's just enjoy it while it lasts. So will be a chance for a few showers tomorrow night. Really tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. More sun later this week. A better chance for some showers and storms by Monday. But overall here as we look ahead, not too bad. That's our Alpha Insurance Camera Network. Columbus, Tupelo, Vernon, Durham's Pharmacy, Louisville, Mississippi. A lot of sunshine out there today. A gorgeous day. We'll cool things down into the mid to low 30s tonight. Maybe a little bit of patchy frost out there, but no widespread event. Some spots this morning down to about 30 degrees, so we can still get cold this time of year. If you do have some tender plants, just cover them up once again. Your Wednesday, chilly start, yes. By noon, around 60, mid-60s in many spots during the course of the afternoon. We're going to go with a partly cloudy icon there, but mostly sunny in the morning, giving way to a lot of cloudiness in the second half of the afternoon into the evening. Rain showers a little bit more likely once we get past 6 o'clock or so tomorrow evening. So most of the daylight will be dry, but that system coming on is right there out there in Kansas where they don't need any more rain, but it's raining out there right now. That system is coming our way, so here come the clouds by mid to late afternoon tomorrow. The moisture will hold back, so first will come the clouds, a little bit of rain potential tomorrow evening, tomorrow night. Clouds may linger just a little bit early Thursday before they scour on out of here with high pressure coming on in. And then behind it, we're looking at some decent weather for your Thursday afternoon, your Friday, your Saturday, back up to around 70 by Saturday, 74 Sunday. And there's that next best chance for some showers and storms by Monday.
Coming up, Ole Miss making sure Kermit Davis is staying put in Oxford. More on the SEC Coach of the Year next in sports.
WCBI Sports with Tom Ebel is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
At the beginning of the year, Kermit Davis was seen as the man to rebuild a short-handed Ole Miss men's basketball program. 1 year later, there was no such thing as a rebuild, as the Rebels are off to the NCAA tournament, and the Rebels make sure to lock up its leader. Ole Miss and Davis agreeing to a new 4-year contract extension. Davis led the 11th best turnaround in the country and the best among Power 5 schools. The SEC Coach of the Year is one of 62 coaches in the history of college basketball to lead 3 different programs to the NCAA tournament. Davis and the Rebels take on Oklahoma in the second round of the tournament coming up on Friday. The path is set for Mississippi State to pursue its 3rd straight Final Four appearance, obtaining the top seed in the Portland Regional. The last time the Bulldogs played was almost 2 weeks ago when they won the SEC Tournament Championship over Arkansas. Vic Schaefer wants to get it going, saying the 2-week layoff is just making him anxious.
You get in the tournament, it's all about getting hot. We were hot coming out of the SEC tournament, really coming out of the season. I hate this waiting 2 weeks. This was, a lot was talked about, 2 years ago when we put 4 starters on the bench and we put 4 new starters in. Well, we needed to figure some things out and we needed to work on some things. That was great to have 2 weeks. We're hot. We need to be playing, but unfortunately, I don't dictate the schedule.
Southern University at approximately 8:30 p.m. Friday night. March Madness is officially underway. The first 4 have begun on the Division I side, but on the JUCO side, the NJCAA National Tournament, Pearl River in its first ever NJCAA tournament game getting a win, defeating Williston State 83-69. Former Shannon Red Raider CJ Brim leading the way with 22 points. The Bobcats advance to the second round coming up on Wednesday, facing 6th seed Odessa out of Texas. Riding a 7-game win streak, Ole Miss softball is ranked across the board. The Rebels ranking 24th in the coaches poll, 23rd according to USA Softball, and 18th by Softball America. The Rebels also were ranked 15th in the initial RPI rankings. That's the highest in school history. Ole Miss winning 4 out of 5 against top 20 opponents this past week, those being Arkansas and Oklahoma State. Mississippi State also receiving votes in some of the polls. College baseball continuing today with some midweek action. Arkansas Little Rock traveling to take on the number 2 Mississippi State Bulldogs. 6:30 p.m. first pitch. That's just about 6 minutes from now. That game will be on the SEC Network Plus. Same with Ole Miss. You'll catch both of those games on the streaming service or tune in at 10 right here on WCBI Sports for all the highlights. Arkansas Pine Bluff traveling to take on the Rebels in Oxford. 6:30 p.m. first pitch for that as well. That'll do it for sports. We'll have a last year forecast coming up right after the break.
Students at Calhoun County's Career and Technical Education Center are learning valuable skills and helping their community. They're building beds for kids. Each student has a specific job: staining the wood, cutting the lumber, drilling, or applying glue.
The beds will be given to needy families who may not have adequate bedding for their children. The school found out about the project after Families First of Calhoun County moved into unused space in the Career and Technical Education Center.
I just hope that they see that they're being a part of something bigger than just classwork. That they're participating in something that's helping other people in their community.
I mean, it made me feel good about myself because, if I know that I can help somebody else in their life, I feel like that's a good deed going down for my name.
A good deed, indeed. Material for the beds is donated to the school by local businesses. Recipients are chosen by Families First of Calhoun County.
Now, we will all need a couple of extra covers on our bed tonight, much like the last couple of nights. Chilly. 30s, tomorrow 60s, a chance for some evening showers, but we're back into the sun by Thursday afternoon, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, looking pretty good here. So your weekend plans should be A-okay.
I don't so much mind the cold nights if I can get days like today,
Not bad, yeah.
It's a beautiful day.
Although you probably still have to turn the heat on. You don't want to wake up with your house about 50 degrees.
True. That happened to you the other
day. That's a shock. Yes.
All right, thanks for joining us, everybody. Good night.